Welcome to Nooga Connection. This week, we have a terrific show, a lot of good information, and some fun guests. We have Amy Petulla, the owner of Chattanooga Ghost Tours. We have Dr. Mark McComie, the owner of McComie Family Dentistry. And we have Bruce Weiss of the River Street Deli. But first, we're going to be joined by Mayor Jim Coppinger to share some very important updates with us regarding the coronavirus. We are joined by the Honorable Jim Coppinger, Mayor of Hamilton County. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Scott. Good to be with you.
It's nice to have you again, sir. Mr. Mayor, recently you issued an order regarding some precautions for COVID-19. They take effect, I believe, on Friday. Would you share with us what those measures are, sir?
Well, I mean, if you take a good look at it, Scott, and some people just look at the headlines, obviously, and look at a mandate for a mask. I mean, this mandate is pretty flexible in that primarily if you're outside and you're socially distanced 6 feet, or if you're with people of your household, that type of thing, then there's no concerns there. I mean, primarily what this is for are people that are in confined areas inside of buildings, businesses, primarily, to be able to, protect yourself, to be able to protect others from you. And, it's not something that's was not done without a lot of deliberation. It's not something that, that's our most proud moment. But again, it does have a sunset on it, meaning that it will expire eventually. Because what I hear the most complaints about is stepping on people's liberties. And we're not doing that at all. I mean, one could argue whether it was seat belts or whether it's child restraint, not smoking in buildings. The list goes on and on. We're just faced with a real serious medical crisis here in our community. And what we're trying to do is to combat it with the only tools that we have right now, which are social distancing and the wearing of masks.
And sir, do you mind sharing with us, what are the highlights of the order? What should we know when we go out? I notice in your pocket, you are carrying a mask. It doesn't look terribly difficult, sir. Will you share with us what the highlights are?
Well, I mean, I will officially say this. I'm not comfortable in a mask either. I've been wearing a mask now, obviously, for months, but it's not something that I enjoy doing, but it is something that's necessary. And well, again, what's in this particular directive is things that will address, health and safety. And again, it's primarily to look at businesses where you have a large gathering of people that come in to do business, and they're in a close proximity to one another. They may not even have any symptoms, but we're finding through testing as some people that are asymptomatic are still, capable of shedding the virus and spreading it. So we're in a tough situation right now. Our numbers are going in the wrong direction. And although if you look at the, I hear the arguments loud and clear, but again, I mean, we have very, very limited resources to be able to try to minimize this spread.
Yes, sir. And I know it's got to be a difficult decision for you to make. And of course, the buck stops here. One thing that we used to debate in law school, in con law, where do your rights end? And we always, the takeaway I had was my rights end where someone else's rights begin. So, sir, I appreciate the measures you've taken. Thank you for coming on and sharing that with us and with the public. And again, sir, we really do thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, Scott, and please help us get the message out there. This is not about government trying to be intrusive in your life. This is about protecting people's health. And again, with the limited resources we have, but it's extremely important. We don't want to see this happen anywhere in this county or any of the municipalities within it. You don't want to see it in your neighborhood or your next door neighbor, and you certainly don't want to see it with your own family and any of your loved ones. And so we've got to be more serious about trying to protect ourselves. And I know it's not a popular decision. It was a hard decision for for myself to make, and people should also know that this decision was made not in a vacuum, but with a great deal of consultation with people in the medical field, as well as business leaders and others, to be able to come up with hopefully a solution to minimize the spread.
Okay, sir. And I don't think I did a good job earlier of enunciating what actually is the order. What people have to wear masks at what point? And I'm not asking you to recite it verbatim, but what are the high points of that, sir?
Well, right. I would suggest, I'll give you a couple of the high points, but I would suggest that people come to our website at hamiltontn.gov, and you can see the directive, this directive number 1. Or go to our health department's website. You can see it there in detail. It's hard to, again, as you lay it out, there are several exemptions to the directive, but primarily the highlights are that if you're going in a place of business, retail is a good example of this. If you're going into any business, then the business owners or managers should be requiring you to put on a mask. And that's what we're asking people to do. We're asking the businesses to join in with us to require it. But if people, if individuals are also, it's on them as well. We need all the support we can get to, again, try to minimize this spread, this unbelievably contagious and horrific virus that's going throughout our communities.
And I did see on the health department's website, as a business owner, I actually printed a copy of the order or the suggested order to place on my front door. So all you've got to do is go to the website, get a copy of that. As a business owner, place it on your front door, and you're advising your customers what is necessary and what's required. Mayor Coppinger, again, I thank you very much, and thank you for what you're trying to do to help slow this down.
Thank you, Scott. Always good to be with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stay with us for an opportunity to win a $100 gift certificate to the River Street Deli.
Like our page, subscribe to our channel, get the latest updates. We're going to have some fun in our next clip. We have Amy Petulla, the owner of Chattanooga Ghost Tours, joining us today. Hi, Amy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, glad to have you. Chattanooga Ghost Tours. I mean, you guys have won so many awards last year. Top tours listed in USA Today, Good Morning America, Country Living. You guys are doing something right, obviously. You had a great year in 2019?
We did. We had a terrific 2019.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've gotten back to operating fairly recently, but we've had to really decrease our tour sizes. So, it's hitting us like every other tourism business in the country.
So you're open back up. What kind of precautions you guys have in place during your tours now, Amy?
Well, we've cut our tour size to about half of what it was. We require social distancing. The city of Chattanooga has just passed a rule that goes into effect this Friday that legally requires social distancing, as well as you don't have to wear a mask outdoors, but you have to have a mask with you in case you come into some other folks that are less than 6 feet away. So, we have that. We do have certain tours that are mask mandatory for people who want to make sure everybody there is masked. We have hand sanitizer that's available. So several different things.
Okay. Now, you were telling me when we spoke before the show how you have so many people set for these tours, and because you can do fewer number of people, you've got quite a list of waiting. Tell me this, the person is saying, I want to come to Chattanooga, I want to get out again, I got to see what's going on. Amy, tell us, what are your top 3 tours? Or should I say your top favorite ghosts?
All right. Well, on our Murder and Mayhem tour, which is, right now we're operating that, and then we also do our UTC Cemetery Ghost Hunt, which is more like the investigations on TV. But on the tour, the Murder and Mayhem tour, probably the top 3 are going to be The Reed House, of course, which is Chattanooga's most famous ghost. Everybody knows about her and wants to hear some more details about her. Underground Chattanooga, which is also one of the most actively haunted spots on our tour. And gosh, we have so many to pick from. But one of my personal favorites is at the old police station. There's a ghost that haunts there that likes to scare prisoners and things like that. So.
Now, Amy, you are a published author, obviously a historian, and you've put a lot of history into your tour as well. Let's talk a little bit about this Reed House, the most famous haunting in Chattanooga and one of the most famous hauntings in the country. Can you tell us, I think we have some footage, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Annalisa Netherly is the most famous ghost of the Reed House. She's the one that everybody has heard of in room 311, but she's not the only ghost of the Reed House. There are several others. One that we discovered within the past year when we got this photo that's up on the screen right now. This is a portrait of Sam Reed of the Reed House, Reed family, that hangs in the lobby. And this portrait, this picture was taken when there were only 4 adults and my guide that were in the room at the time, but you can see down in the bottom left corner the little girl in pink, which we sent this to the Reed House. They were so excited about it, they actually showed it to some of their own guests. We didn't know when this came through who she was, but it turns out they did. So we've gotten a little information about her. Her name is Emily, and we talk about her on the tour some as well.
You literally gave me goosebumps. Tell me more about the Reed House. I understand you've captured some voice on film as well.
We did. We have a new piece of equipment, or we had a new piece of equipment.
Let's listen to that.
Well, it's playing right now. Until 2014, nurse practitioners were the only people in the world that had this piece of equipment. Very first time we used it, we got permission from the Reed House to go inside room 311. It was the first time we were ever allowed in there, so we're really excited about it. That video is showing one of the ghosts there who, first we asked him to touch Hope, who's the blue form sitting on the bed, that reaches out and touches her. And then Hope said, "Walter, can you show back up?" And it says, "Okay," and it shows up right next to her.
So that's Walter's voice that we hear, that deep voice on that film.
It is. That's through the obelisk. Those are 2 separate pieces of equipment, which is what made it really amazing when she said, "Can you show back up?" And it said, "Okay," and it showed back up because it's 2 separate pieces of equipment doing the same thing at the same time, and the thing that we just asked it to do. So we were super excited about that.
Oh, that sounds like fun. And something for everybody, the fun, the little bit of eeriness, the history, it sounds terrific. So, Amy, you guys, I know you've got a long list. People want to come in and see you, but can you tell us, how do we find more information about the Chattanooga Ghost Tours?
People can go to ChattanoogaGhostTours.com, which is our website. They can get more information, and on every page there should be a button that says book now or buy tickets now. They can click that to buy tickets. It also talks about some of their ghosts. Our blog page is the Ghostly Encounters button, and it talks about some of the creepier things that have happened on the tour and the hunt.
I have learned a lot. It looks like a great time. And Amy, thank you for coming on here. I'm so glad that you're open back up and that Chattanooga tourism is kicking back off again in full swing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Contact us via our website, noogaconnection.tv, or comment on our social media. Let us know what you'd like to see, who you'd like to hear from, any improvements you'd like to see, and we greatly appreciate your feedback.
Coming up is your opportunity to win a $100 gift certificate to the River Street Deli.
We're joined by Dr. Mark McComie, the owner of McComie Family Dentistry, along with his wife, Dr. Ellen McComie. Dr. McComie is the immediate past president of the Chattanooga Area Dental Society. Dr. McComie, I'm glad to have you on this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Scott. It's great to be here.
Thank you, sir. Listen, when I have mentioned to people that you're going to be on my show, you'd be shocked at how many people are saying, I was wondering about that. I really need to get to the dentist. So let's get to it. With COVID, some people haven't been coming to the dentist. They've been concerned. What has happened to dentistry? Were you all shut down for a little while? What happened when we first were hit?
When it first came out, there was somewhat of a panic going on as far as what to do with personal protective equipment or PPE. And so they shut down dentistry. I believe we were shut down right there in the beginning of March, about the 15th of March, somewhere around there. And then we didn't reopen until May 6th. And so that was a strange period of time for us because we were completely shut down, just seeing emergencies only. So in our office, we were coming in on Mondays and Thursdays and seeing emergency patients, and now we're full on, we're doing everything, and we've got additional precautions in place. And the American Dental Association came out and wrote protocol for all dentists to follow.
Can you share with us then when the person I'm talking to on the phone says, gosh, my husband needs to go to the dentist, we were concerned. What kind of protocols are in place now, Dr. McComie?
Well, it's very different. We don't use our waiting room really anymore. We use your car as our waiting room. And so when you come to the dentist, we ask you to call us from your car. We'll bring paperwork out to you. We have a COVID questionnaire to go through that will has different questions of running fevers and that. Then once we bring you in the building, the first thing we do is we take your temperature. We have a thermometer that we point at your head. It's a touchless thermometer. And then we sanitize your hands, bring you back. We wear different masks than we ever have before, and that's for our protection, not necessarily yours or maybe protecting you from us. But we have different things in place. We have surgically clean air units. We have a negative pressure office. We have UV lights in our ductwork. In dentistry, we generate an aerosol, and they think it could transfer an aerosol, but they're not sure. But we want to make sure we don't have any aerosol flying around in our office that could get anybody sick. Dental offices have not been seen to be a point of exposure or point of transmission, which is a good thing. And that tells me that, all the dentists out here, we're taking it serious. Everybody's doing their part to try to make it awesome and make sure that, you're not going to get sick when you come to the dentist.
And I presume with schools reopening, or at least the plans for schools reopening, the local dentists here are seeing a lot of business, especially with that 2-month layoff.
It was interesting. We have been busy ever since we've come back. And the thing we're seeing is all those people that were pushing off toothaches. And then there's people that say, hey, I pay for 2 cleanings a year that I get free with my insurance. How am I supposed to get those if I can't come in? And then we have people that are on the other side of it that are very cautious, that are just like, I'm not ready to come in right now. And so it goes across the whole board, across the whole spectrum, and we will accommodate anybody. And anybody that wants to talk about it, we're more than happy to talk about what we're doing and the reasons why and the protocols we have in place, so that you can come to the dentist safely and take your children to the orthodontist and resume orthodontic care. That's all great, And Chattanooga as a whole, the community really banded together, and the Tennessee Dental Association helped us get the proper PPE to protect our employees and to keep our patients safe. And so that was a big measure. The Tennessee Dental Association provided every dentist in the state with KN95 masks that will pass a fit test. And wow, that's huge.
Okay, well, Dr. McComie, one question between we're gonna do this for all of us. Between coming to see you, twice a year, what kind of measures can we take? What kind of steps can we take to keep our oral health to the maximum peak?
I think the things we need to do, just your typical stuff, your brushing, your flossing, stay on top of things, eat healthy. I think, there are studies that show eating cheese before you go to bed. They did on Afghanistan children. The World Health Organization did it. It shows a massive decrease in the casein protein in cheese. It inhibits the ability for the bad bacteria to colonize and to cause bad harm to our teeth, to dig holes, to cause tooth decay and gum disease. Just a simple piece of cheese will do things that are great. There's other things that you can do. You can chew sugarless gum in between meals. The xylitol in that has an antimicrobial effect that goes beyond what we understand with fluoride and things. It actually kills the bad bacteria specifically in our mouths, and that leads us to good oral health. Just small little things like that, incrementally. Drinking water instead of a sugary drink is also, of course, that's obvious, but there are those things to do, and every little small piece, they all add up.
That's awesome, Dr. McComie. It's been wonderful having you on. I think we have really learned a lot, and I know it's given me a lot of confidence, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will say, I'm ready to go back. Dr. McComie, if we're interested in going to McComie Family Dentistry, and I am a patient of yours, I'll give full disclosure, love your place, love your people, love your kid. Dr. McComie is an amazing kid, but how do we find you, sir? Where do we find you online?
We're at McComiefamilydentistry.com, and you can hit our website. We've got a very active Facebook, social media things. We're on Instagram and Facebook. You can also give our office a call at 899-1112, area code 423. And you can even text that number if you'd rather text us and talk to us that way. But, the bottom line is, across the Tennessee Valley, dentists are open. We're seeing patients. Everybody, take your kid to the orthodontist. Come yourself. Don't live with a toothache. Come see us. We're safe. We're going to keep you safe. We're listed as the same risk as going to a grocery store.
There you go. Dr. McComie, I'm very grateful for your time today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Friends, we try to bring you useful information on this show. I want to share something with you as a personal injury lawyer. I see so many cases with people that have tens of thousands of dollars of medical bills from treatment, and the driver that caused the accident, they either don't have any insurance or their insurance is the minimum, $25,000. And the person that was not at fault is left holding the bag for those bills. There's a solution, though. It's called uninsured motorist coverage. You may have it. You have a chance to opt out from it. I highly suggest that you buy uninsured motorist coverage. And I highly suggest that you buy at least $100,000 worth. It doesn't take anything to get bills that high. I mean, you know what hospital costs are these days. It's expensive. And I think if you talk to your insurance agent, you'll find out that for just a few dollars a month more, you'll have that protection. Don't get left holding the bag. I see it all the time. I see it in thousands of cases that I've handled. I see it all the time where there's just not sufficient insurance. I hope you never, ever have to use your uninsured motorist coverage, but you're going to have such a peace of mind knowing that it's there. And God forbid you do have to use it, you're going to be so grateful that you have that additional coverage. Talk to your insurance agent. Check that out. You'll be glad you did. To get the latest updates, like our page and subscribe to our channel. Our next guest is known by many as a local Chattanooga celebrity, Bruce Weiss, the owner of the River Street Deli. Those of you who know him, you feel like he's your friend. He and I have been friends for a decade and a half, I guess. But Bruce, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me be here.
I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate yesterday. I got a chance to go into your restaurant, the River Street Deli. Incredible place, jam-packed, very busy. Let's talk a little bit. I mean, somebody's been in that restaurant for 22 plus years. Share with us, if you would, Bruce. What is how has the COVID-19 affected the River Street Deli and what you do?
Well, right now, we had to put up, all of the protective things that need to be done. We've got plexiglass hanging from the ceiling to separate the customers, the workers. They're all wearing masks. And by the way, not happy about the masks. But nevertheless, this is what we need to do. We've got the dining cut down to half the capacity of seating, with what seating that we do have separated in proper social distancing that's required by the Tennessee COVID-19 regulations. We have people that are constantly cleaning and sanitizing any table area that a customer has come in and eaten. As soon as they eat, the plates are picked up and the area is sanitized. That's what's going on now. Right?
That's what's going on now with your business. And you're kind of set up for this kind of a takeout business and carry out business, aren't you, Bruce?
Well, like delis that I've always known, a deli has always been one of these places that take out. The way we're set up, a lot of it is based on the ability to be able for people to come in and take out food. We have added things, for example, curb service. The people that are afraid to be exposed, what we do is they call up, they place an order, they give me their credit card number, and I tell them, call me when they get up front and we'll bring the food out to them. So accommodations like that. You know, Scott, when a crisis like this that nobody's ever seen before happens, you gotta use your head. And there's a great word in Yiddish called sechel that nobody will get, but nevertheless, it's about an abundance of common sense. It's about understanding of propriety, you know, what goes next, doing the thing right. And by doing all of these things that we're required to do and hustling, it's a lot harder working now than
I'll bet.
No,
Now, Bruce,
really is.
it also in your role as you know, a Chattanooga entrepreneur, you know a lot of restaurant owners. Tell me, what have you been hearing from other owners? How are other types of restaurants doing?
Yeah, look, a lot of people are hurting, and they're going to hurt because of I think at this point, it's about how good you are, how you could innovate and make the best out of a situation, never giving up, but trying to always think about another method or a better way to do something that's going to fall within the parameters that you're given. And
now, Bruce, your restaurant is located on the North Shore.
Correct.
And I know, 16 and 17 years ago, you developed this North Shore Merchants Collective.
Correct.
Now, before we get into what that is, let's talk about the North Shore. I mean, people that have just moved here, been here, you know, for 10 years, they know what the North Shore is. Back when I was a kid, there was no such thing. Tell us, what is the North Shore, Bruce?
When I moved in there, we were the basement of the Agnew hardware store. There was no park. There was the walking bridge, but there was no park. There was nothing but dirt lot and the Coast Guard reserve station, right? Remember, you could see the cannons and the artillery, they were all out there. So we were building while they were taking it down. So when we moved in, there was no asphalt, there was no street. As a matter of fact, I opened up before they named the street. I was waiting for them to name the street so I can call the deli whatever the street was. Yeah, it is River
And so
Street.
now you've got the Market Street or I'm sorry, the Walnut Street Bridge, the walking bridge, which I understand, I learned from you a few minutes ago, is a park.
Well, that's it's a park that spans the Tennessee River,
Wow.
maintained
Wow.
city. So it's
And
wonderful. It's a
tell us
walking
about
bridge.
tell us what the amenities are out there, because people can go downtown, get a hotel room, cross the bridge, come to the North Shore, and they can do everything. Tell us what they've got out there, Bruce.
You've got a plethora of restaurants. A lot of the restaurants have bars. There's a craft beer place. So there's any kind of restaurant you could possibly imagine. There's shops, and it's all entrepreneurs. So it's not like going into a mall and you're walking into a chain store where the people don't care. They care somewhat, but when you go into a small shop owned by an entrepreneur, you walk in, you're their livelihood. You
Right.
mean a lot to those people. And we all banded together about 16 years ago. A few of us got together and came up with this idea of putting together we are chartered, merchants collective. So if we have grievances, problems, or we could do collective advertising. Similar to what they do on Main Street when they do Main Times 24. Although we are not backed by any, sponsored money, everything that we do, it comes out of the pockets of the entrepreneurs and business owners in the North Shore.
Yep, and there's your abundance of common sense grouping together to get a little more power and do what you need to serve the community. Bruce,
I'll give you a perfect example. We have a website. We have flyers, which is probably one of the most valued flyers that we make up, and it has a map on it of all the stores and a map of the North Shore. All the businesses that are involved are listed. It's really well done, and a lot of the merchants put in a lot of time and energy, which is not easy because nobody gets paid to do that.
Right.
Paid for our businesses, right? But we do this as an organization to develop and get people to come down. We're probably the hottest ticket on the at the Chattanooga Convention, Visitors Bureau.
There you go.
Right?
So Bruce, if I want to come down to River Street Deli, tell us, now I know it's on River Street, obviously, but where would I look you up on the website? What website can we look at? What can we see? How can we see what's on the menu?
Yeah, I would I have a website and Facebook page. So when I get off the phone with you guys, on this thing, on the interview, in a couple of hours, I'm going to post on both Instagram and Facebook, right? There's a timing thing that I've learned for both of those, and and start to plug what we're doing tomorrow for lunch by pictures, having some fun, talking about the food, and I'll do that tonight. Tomorrow morning, yeah. For example, Instagram is a different viewer than Facebook. Instagram, they want to see the pictures. They want to see nice photographs. Facebook, I could do that with a little funny plug, right?
Right.
And I do. And in the morning, when I get to the deli, I get on our website, right? River Street Deli website, and I put in that daily menu of everything that we got: soup, any specials we're running. For like tomorrow, brisket of beef.
All right. Well, Bruce, you and I were there yesterday, and we came up with an idea, and I want to let our viewers know that you and I together have decided to give away a $100 gift certificate to the Deli. And in order for people to sign, there you go. And in order for people to sign up for that, go to NoogaConnection.tv, sign up, and get a chance to get some of the best food in Chattanooga and meet one of the most colorful personalities in Chattanooga. It's a great time always.
But thank you.
Bruce, I appreciate you taking your time to talk with us today. Hey, do me a favor, Bruce, something else comes up, interesting going on, you want to talk about, you're welcome anytime, my friend.
Appreciate you, man. Billy, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right, take care, guys.
So congratulations to Linda Sears. She won the annual family pass to the Chattanooga Zoo. Thank you for signing up for last week's contest, Linda. Now, don't forget, this week, we're giving away a $100 gift certificate to the River Street Deli. Great food, great atmosphere, lots of fun. Go to our website, NoogaConnection.tv, to enter. We'd really like to hear your comments. Who do you want to see on the show? What would you like to talk about? Hey, you got some ideas that we could improve the show? Connect with us via our website, NoogaConnection.tv, or comment on our social media. We appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and a big thanks to our guests, the Honorable Mayor Jim Coppinger, Amy Petulla, Dr. Mark McComie, and Bruce Weiss. I'm Scott Davis. I've been your host, and I really look forward to seeing you next week, where we're going to put on another terrific show.